Is it a norm to like show up to spring training clean cut, or does it not matter?
Like you said, unless you're the Yankees, I don't think it matters.
Okay. So I just feel like you start the season fresh and then you let it go from there. And like, so you show up presentable. It's like showing up to the first day of school, right? You want to look your best. You want to wear your best clothes on the first day of school. You have a nice haircut you got the weekend before, and you know, whatever happens over the course of the school year. And I would imagine the same thing in some courses happen for Major League Baseball. But it sounds like it's only probably for some people.
Yeah, I think this year, like, I'll show up with a pretty good cut, whatever it may be. I want to maybe be cleaned up a little bit, but last year or the year before, I showed up like an absolute caveman. I had hair down to my shoulders, and the beard hadn't been shaved in probably months.
What's better to pitch in?
It was a bad look, but better to pitch in. See, that's the dilemma. If I'm pitching and I want to go for best look, I'm thinking like hair out the hat, because like as ball players, hair out the hat is like the thing. That's what you want to have. But when I had last year when I had the hair out the hat and then this was cleaned up, this was nice, because when this gets in the awkward stage, it just kind of sticks out. You have to get it long enough to push it behind the ears. And when I cut that, I didn't have to worry about it. So it was like the best of both worlds. You have short on the side and you have the flared out hair. So I might try to go back to that. I kind of like that. But it's
and George Kirby. I was going to say, you and George Kirby are good friends and have been good friends for a while, which I'm sure we'll get into with you a little bit. But would he ever grow facial hair like you?
I don't think he's got it. Like I've been around him, and I don't think he can grow it that well. I think it's just one of those types of people that the hair just doesn't grow. And some people are like that. And that's just how it is. Even if like he did like just, I think, truly tried to let it grow, it wouldn't be thick. It would be like whiskery, and it'd be better off for him to just shave it. I think that's his situation.
Well, if we're going to get into you and George Kirby's friendship a little bit, I guess we can take you all the way back to your guys' time at Elon, where you guys played your college ball together. Like, when did that friendship kind of start between the two of you?
I'll be honest, it started later than you might think. It was the year, my senior year, his junior year, his first draft year, my second draft year. When I actually started to have a chance of getting drafted, we started chatting it up a little bit more. But, you know, we were always sharing the field together, you know, sharing get-togethers together and all that. But he had a little bit of a different friend group than me in college. But then, like I said, that year, that draft year for us, we started chit-chatting a little bit on the field, a little bit more, talking about the draft coming up. And we joked around a little bit, like how funny would it be if we both went to the same team? Just, you know, didn't think anything of it. And then I remember draft day, we knew he was going first round sometime, and it happened to be with the Mariners. And we were, you know, super happy for him. And then second day came, that's when I was expected to go. And you get so wrapped up in just the stress of draft day and wanting the best for yourself, and you want to go on this round, this number, whatever it may be. So I was so wrapped up into that. I get drafted after all the chaos, and I get all the calls from scouting director and whoever it was that day, and we're starting to think. We settle down a little bit, and we're like, wait a minute, like George Kirby, he's with the Mariners too. So it was like the conversation we had previously about having one guy within the org that you know, that helps you out a ton, just because you're not that lone wolf going into spring training the first time and you're kind of just roaming the halls and not knowing where you're supposed to be. It was really nice having him, like a former teammate, going into our first spring training together. So it was really nice.
So you were a two-way player at Elon. You came into there as a catcher, and then you played a little bit of outfield as you got older, as you got into pitching as well, all things we want to touch on. But, I mean, just off the rip, did you ever catch George Kirby?
Yes.
Wow. So what was that experience like?
It was great to be able to see him come into Elon as the slightly immature, 18-year-old, where he was good, but everybody needs a little bit of polishing up when they get to college. And one, catching him, he was good. He was already above most other recruits that came in. But it was fun catching him because he, just like he is now, he had pretty good command. And as a catcher, you always want someone that throws pretty hard and has good command. And it's a lot of fun just receiving guys that can do that when they can spot up. That way you can be a little bit more relaxed as a catcher, and you're framing the pitches without any effort. But I tell everybody that asks me about George at Elon how far he's come mentally with maturing his composure on the mound. It's night and day. Like, he freshman and sophomore year, when he would, and this is everybody in college, but it's funny to see someone grow so much from college to big league Kirby now, who he is. He would get so worked up over like the little small things on the mound that didn't go his way. Say a strike on the outside corner was called a ball. He would show his emotions immediately. Maybe a guy boots a ground ball and, he wanted that out. He might show his emotions a little too much, or whatever it may be. He would wear everything on his shoulder or just right there. And compared to now, like, he's a cold-blooded assassin on the mound, and like, he shows emotion here and there when he does really well, or he's in a tight spot, he needs to get out of it. He'll show that emotion, but other than that, like, he's cold-blooded. He knows what he's doing up there, and it's not like it's some special strikeout that he's going to get all worked up about. It's just another day for him now in the big leagues. It's like, I'm born to do this, and I'm gonna go out there and get outs. But at Elon, it was a big shift, because towards his junior year, his draft year, like, he made a big jump sophomore year to junior year. It was like, on the mental side and the physical side, he went from like low 90s, touching mid 90s, to first round George Kirby, mid 90s, touching like 98, 99. It was like, yo, this guy is about to go like first round, no doubt. And as a mid-major school, Elon, like, we would always be chatting it up. The players would be like, yo, how did we get George Kirby? Like, how did this man sign to go to Elon University in North Carolina, mid-major school? And it just happened to be one of those, I wouldn't say diamond in the rough, but like, he kind of progressed and developed into this power pitcher, this power starter that doesn't walk anybody. He has 4+ pitches, and he goes first round just like that. So it was a lot of fun to see him evolve as a pitcher on both sides of the ball.
So what I'm getting at here, because you said when you would catch him that he always had a lot of command, and then he developed over time. What I'm getting at here is his freshman year in a bullpen session, he'd throw about 3 balls a session, and then junior year he'd throw 1 ball a session.
That's about right. Yep. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and like, catching him freshman year, sophomore year, I slowly shifted to outfield because we had other recruits that came in were strictly catchers, and they weren't as versatile as I was. I was a little bit more athletic. I could bounce around. I could play outfield or wherever they needed me, and but for the time being, when I did catch him, it was a lot of fun.